Hello and welcome back, my fellow human. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. We do things differently here on this channel, and with that being said, if triggering statements do arise on the readings themselves, there's no obligation to force it to fit, but keeping in mind that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. We're all here sharing this human experience together. And with that, your time, your energy, and your presence are truly a gift and a blessing, and I'm honored to be here spending it with you. Very quickly, first, I am to where I was traveling to. I've been on the road for quite a few days. I was hoping to continue to get you out content during that time, but it was way too overwhelming and there was just too many things that were happening, and that's why I decided to go ahead and draw back from the channel for the week. But now I am where I'm meant to be at, and I'll be here for a while. It's not a short stay, it's a long stay. And you will be getting your regularly scheduled content. Today, I am choosing to do something different. I was in meditation and I was asking Source, like, what message should we do today? And Source inspired me to do a message for the zodiac signs. So I'm going to be doing elemental zodiac readings, and these are pick a card readings. Today is specifically for water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And there's not a designated pile for each sign. This is literally like if you're a water sign, or if you have any of your majors, sun, moon, rising, or Venus in the water sign, or if you're just checking on an area in your chart that falls in a water sign, this will be the reading for you, okay? And I'm going to do all of the elements. So there'll be 4 videos that include all the elements. It just so happened that I was inspired to start with water signs today, okay? All right, so with that being said, I'm glad to be back. It has been a week for me, but I'm back and I'm glad to be back. And today is going to be a day without frequencies. It's just nice and quiet here. I may have to turn them on later, but I just needed the silence today. So bear with that, and let's go ahead and hop to our prayer and we'll get your reading underway. I hope everybody's doing well. I missed you all, and I will be getting back to comments shortly, okay? All right. Make sure we're lit good. Okay, my beloved Source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone who comes onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. The world is shifting right now, and I feel like we're all experiencing that shift. Some of us in a very positive way, some of us in a neutral way, and others of us in a not so positive or neutral, but potentially negative way. It's been heavy. It's been overwhelming. You know, we've gone from being in this place of uncertainty and unclear, like not being clear about what's next. We have been fighting against some unseen forces. Some are seen forces as well. There's just been a lot that has arisen, especially over the last couple of years. And as we move into this new era for ourselves and things are shifting into a new beginning, especially with the shift of Saturn, and as we move out of this heavily influenced Pisces era, we come into a time of new beginnings, the momentum to move forward into something new. And I ask that you help us maintain this momentum. Sometimes it's easy to start things, but what is hard is the monotony of the middle part. The middle of the run, the middle of the race, where it's just the same thing over and over again. And this can definitely make us feel like we're doing something wrong, or it can make us feel like we've chosen a wrong path because we're not seeing things shift, or we're not seeing things actually work out for us the way that we thought that they would. But embracing that journey of the monotony and truly letting that become the routine of our day-to-day helping us to open our hearts to receiving the change and the shifts that brings along the way. That it's not about the end result. It's about embracing the unknown in the here now here moment. This is what I ask that you help us with today. This is what I ask that you help us with moving forward. This is what I ask that you help us with if we're choosing to start a new project or if we're continuing an old project. Remind us that just because it's not happening as fast as we thought that it should, or by a time frame that our human minds expected it to happen by, that doesn't mean that it's not happening. That oftentimes you have a set schedule for us, and that doesn't always happen to be in alignment with what we think it should be. Open our hearts to that path and to that trust, that we can trust that you'll bring us through to the end. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and onto this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right, so let me get that set up over here. Okay, so today I'm literally doing choose an oracle pile. I really felt like this was going to be something that would benefit this reading overall, giving it different energies and not just kind of, sometimes we have the readings, which is fine. Like they kind of piggyback each other. Not always, but that happens a lot. I was really called to just picking an oracle card or an oracle deck for each one of you and going from there. So for pile number 1, you do have the Dragon Riders Oracle by Christina Arana Fader. Okay, you also have this dice with the first house on it. Or you have this little jar of labradorite. Okay. Pile number 2, we have this oracle, which is the Soul's Journey Lesson Cards by James Van Praagh. You have this dice with the second house on it. Or you have this little jar of amethyst to choose from. And pile number 3, we have this oracle, which is the Goddess, Gods, and Guardians Oracle by Sophia Brashford. You have this dice with the third house on it. Or you have this little jar of fluorite to choose from. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you felt called to, that should be the one for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to the Dragon Riders Oracle by Christine Arana Fader, or perhaps you were called to this dice with the first house on it, or maybe you were drawn to this little jar of labradorite. This is going to be your reading. Now, this is for Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. I'm going to be doing elemental readings. There's going to be 4 altogether, so everybody's signs are going to get covered, but this could be if you have Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or if you're wanting to check on a certain area of your chart that has a water sign in it, then this is going to be that reading for you. And we're all here sharing this human experience together. I want to say welcome back to those of you, my fellow humans, that are continuing to join us. And if you're new, thank you for joining us today. Triggering statements may arise on the readings themselves. And remember, there's no obligation to force it to fit, while keeping in mind that triggers can be a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm honored to be here sharing it with you. So with that being said, let's go ahead and find out, pile 1, what your message is if you're a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So what is the message for pile 1, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces? Message for pile number 1, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Source, what would you like to share with them today? Message for pile number 1, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, thank you. Message for pile number 1, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. What Dragon Rider's Oracle card is going to help us better understand this message for pile 1? Thank you, Source. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, we have Kuthumi and Kianya with smile and feel the peace that smiling brings you. Ensure that there's divine peace within you at every level. So I'm going to leave this out. I feel like this is just a reminder that things have been tough for you as a water sign lately. And that's okay. That it's just a reminder that even when life happens, right? None of us are free from life. No matter how positive we may become, no matter how much healing we may do, life is still going to happen. Ups and downs, the goods, the bads, everything that life brings, it's still going to happen to us. And I feel like sometimes, especially with water signs, we get hopelessly optimistic about things, and we think that like, oh, no matter what, you know, like I can basically beat life away with positivity. And while that works, I would say 90% of the time, there's still the other 10%. And sometimes with water, because of that depth of emotion, that 10% becomes so magnified that it can outweigh the 90% in just a moment's time. And there's this reminder to, even when things get difficult, it's not about trying to beat it away with positivity. It's about reminding yourself that you have the tools to face this situation, this circumstance, this challenge head on. No matter what is happening, you have the ability to maintain peace within your heart. Even if you are crying, even if you are angry, even if you are dealing with these outside circumstances that are eliciting emotions within us, those emotions do not have to be the disruption from our inner peace, which sounds like a conundrum, but it's not, right? It's not a place of projection. It's reminding yourself that you're coming from a place of balance. And that's why it's important to remember that when you are going through a hard time, you can control how you feel in that moment, while also not trying to brush away the actual feelings that are arising, right? So it's like honoring if you're stressed, right? Like acknowledging that I'm stressed right now, but I don't have to let that stress totally derail my entire day. I'm angry right now. It's okay that I'm angry, but I don't have to let that anger derail my entire day. This is what we're talking about when it's reminding yourself of that peace in your heart. So let's find out more. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Source, what would you like to tell them today? Yeah, okay, so we've got the first house, Libra energy and Mercury. Balance, yeah. And being open about that with yourself as well. You know, something that's coming through, it's like, so before I got on this reading, and this is what they're showing me, it's like before I got on this reading, I always have conversations with Source. Like I call them prayers, I call them conversations, whatever you want to talk. It's like Source talk. It's where I talk to Source about whatever is going on with me, and you know, I'm pretty straight with Source. Sometimes I really get into it with Source, like talk to Source like they're my best friend, because that's the way I see it. I talk to them like they're my lover, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my, you know, like they're my everything. And so I feel like that's exactly what Source is telling you, Pile 1, is that it's okay for you to be completely honest about how you feel. And something that I've told many, many clients before is that, you know, it's okay to be angry at Source. I feel like sometimes we get this in our head, like we can't be mad at Source. Like we can't be mad about the journey. We can't be mad about what's going on. But I feel like, especially because the first house is how we're appearing to the outside world. And it's like you already have this very balanced presence in the world. But also I feel like you're keeping a lot of things in, and especially anger, and especially having to communicate that anger has been something that might be really trying for you. And it's either all or nothing, right? I'm either screaming my head off or I'm trying to shove it down and not even, you know, let it have its way, because it's going to consume me. And this could be any emotion too, right? It doesn't just have to be anger, but I really feel this anger coming in. And it's like I don't trust the journey when I'm feeling angry, or I'm numbing myself. I'm numbing myself to the journey when I'm feeling angry, because that's easier than feeling whatever this emotion is. And with Mercury here, it's sort of reminding you that it's okay for you to be honest. And if you need somebody to just pour it onto Source. Even if you are angry, just be like, Source, look, I got a problem with you right now. Like, I just really feel like you've abandoned me, or I really feel like you're not helping me, or I really feel like, and that's okay. And I feel like people forget that those are the types of conversations when we can have with Source, with God, with Jesus, with Buddha, with whoever it is you believe in, right? Whatever God you believe in, or whatever universe, right? It doesn't matter. It's like when you can have those conversations alone with your faith and what you believe in, then you will be able to have those conversations with people who you truly care about and love. And it can be those conversations that sometimes are the most frightening, because what if this person rejects me when I'm being completely honest about how I feel? Right? And sometimes that's that superficial energy that's coming in. It's very surface level. It's like, I need to be accepted by them. That's that superficiality coming in. But you don't, right? They either accept you or they don't. They're going to show you where they're at. The truth of the matter is, do you accept yourself? Because if you can't accept yourself in all the stages of who you are being human, then it's impossible for us to ask somebody to accept us fully. It's because we can only give what we are, and that's the same with someone else. They can only give what they are. But how one-sided is it if we expect someone to come in and love us unconditionally when we can't even do that ourselves? And if we can't do that for ourselves, we'll never be able to give that love unconditionally back to another person. And so it's just a process of accepting and acknowledging all parts of yourself right now, even the parts of you that may be less than desirable, and rebalancing out that situation where it's like, you know, if you need to cry, cry, but don't try to numb yourself. Be honest with yourself about how you're feeling, because that's the most important thing. Okay, so let me put these over here. I don't have my little, I'm still unpacking everything, so I don't have everything out yet. And if you didn't catch the intro, it's because I was traveling, and that's why I wasn't making any videos. I had a really rough time this last time traveling. It was just really intense, and so that's why I took the time off. But I'm where I'm at. I'm going to be here for a while, and you guys will have your regularly scheduled content. Okay, so let's find out what else Source would like to say. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Messages for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Source. Okay, thank you. Yeah, really like energy of self-love coming in here. It's almost like I can't let myself fully trust in my faith. That's what I'm hearing. I can't let myself fully trust in my faith and trust in the creator, right? Because I've been hurt by people so much. But it's reminding yourself that source is not people, right? Source is not gonna be that one that like does you in like that. And I feel like we oftentimes are misled by seeing things as just karmic, and it's like, oh, well, it's just karma. It's just karma. It's just karma. It's like we're trying to normalize something to give it meaning when it doesn't necessarily need meaning. You know, like death happens in life. It's just a part of being alive, right? Grief is going to happen in life because it's a part of life. Anger is going to happen in life because it's a part of life. Like, if we're trying to lump all of those things under karma, there's some backlash with that says, oh, it's because I must have done something to deserve this. But why are we trying to give it that reason where we're saying, basically, I'm not enough, rather than just seeing it as it is, which is, this is a part of life, and this is the part of life that I'm having to go through right now, right? Like, if you ever injured yourself, it's like, what did I do to deserve this? That's always a question that we as humans have. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? You lose a friend. What did I do to deserve this? You lose a love. What did I do to deserve this? Like, we already have this belief that has been cemented into our psyche from the time we were little, that there's something that we did to deserve this particular outcome. But that's what I feel like sometimes naming it as karma continues that cycle, when it's rather, instead of seeing it, oh, this is just karmic retribution, or this is karmic payback for something that I don't even know, just seeing it as it is. This is the dualistic nature of the 3D realm upon which we reside in. And there is no, there's not necessarily a reason, nor do we need to seek reason, other than I just need to face this as it is in this moment. It's a challenge. It's something to overcome. It's something to get through. It's something to experience. Because all of life is an experience. It doesn't have to have meaning, except that it is an experience. There is no, it's not because you did something, right? Like, that's not what it's tied to. And I feel like for water signs, this can be especially hard, because we're always we feel things so deeply as a water sign. And with that, you know, especially if you have a lot of water in your chart, even if your majors aren't water, but you have a lot of water in your chart, right? Like, you feel things so deeply. And it can create a lot of dissonance, because it's like you carry this emotion on your chest and on your shoulders and on your mind and in your life, when it's not even yours to really truly carry, right? Yeah, so we've got the 4 of Cups on the bottom. This is about stabilizing your emotional well-being in this time. And I feel like that's been really hard, especially going through something that you don't want to face, with the House of God in the reverse here, and the 5 of Wands in the upright. But the main thing here is what Source is saying is, like, even though you've gone through this difficult time, it was not something that you were looking forward to. It was not something that was planned, you know, and I feel like the House of God can be something that we just accept, or we can try to run from. And when it comes out in the reverse, it's a feeling of wanting to run away from it, right? The numbing of ourselves. If I just numb myself, then I don't have to deal with what's in front of me, because it feels too overwhelming. It feels too difficult. It feels too unmanageable. But the truth is whether or not we want to face it, it's already happening, right? Like, it's happening. It's already falling apart. It's already coming crashing down around us. It's already something that we have no control over. Whether it's in the upright or the reverse, it's still not something we can control, no matter how we approach it. And so it's about how we're seeing it from our perspective. And what Source is saying is that this difficult time that you're going through, there's no amount of begging, pleading, bargaining that's going to reverse what has happened. But it's not something to fear, because you will regain clarity and balance, and the need to move forward, or the want to move forward. the desire to move forward again, even though you feel like I'm starting all over or I have to go back to the beginning here. What had happened was this fell apart so that you could reach a level of inner emotional stability, which was desperately needed in your journey right now, because something was winning. And again, I was feeling the anger when I started your reading pile one, but it could be any overwhelming emotion. It could be grief, it could be sorrow, it could be suffering, it could be obstinance, right? It could be even being smug, right? Like these are emotions. It could be feelings of shyness, feelings of fear. Whatever the feeling, the emotion is that was overwhelming here, something fell apart so that you could regain an understanding of how to move forward in a very stable way. And it's instability to bring stability. There's something here that was very surface level, again, with that feeling of that Libra energy, that superficiality coming in. It was very superficial. And you were making it much deeper than it was, and that's okay, right? There's no blame here for that. It's just when we're not ready or willing to see it for what it is, and we've put on our rose-colored glasses, and we're happy waking up with our rose-colored glasses every day, and we're like, this is what's going on, and I don't want to see the truth of this situation, because it's much easier to maintain momentum in the old mindset. When our rose-colored glasses get cracked, we kind of fall apart because we're being asked to look at something that we would have otherwise been happy leaving in the dark, or leaving dusted under the rug, or leaving in the back of the closet. And that's what healing is. It's, like that. It's not, I feel like sometimes we romanticize healing, but healing is full of twists and turns, and it's one wild roller coaster ride. And often it's like we're ready to get off, but we're in the middle of a huge loop-de-loop. And if we get off, like we just end up falling, and it's just kind of crazy. And we have to hold on sometimes and hope for the best. And when we get done, are we changed forever by it? Yeah, but are we excited to get off the ride? Maybe we'll kiss the ground for a minute, or maybe we just turn around and look at that and be like, I can't believe I just did that. So there's a lot of emotions that'll come up regardless once you get through the healing. But a lot of us just would rather close our eyes and just pretend that it's not happening. And that's just the human conditioning. We're afraid of what's on the other side of the unknown, because we already know, and we've already accepted this less than perfect situation, or this less than desirable situation. We've grown comfortable with it. And that's what they're saying here. It's like emotionally, there's something here that you had grown comfortable with. So it's something you've identified with, right? It's like it's become a part of your identity. So like if things are falling apart at home, you're going to do your best to put on your best face and make sure that when you present yourself or your family to the world, that you look like a unit. Even though when you go home and you're behind closed doors, everything is falling apart. But that unit outside has started to crack, and people are seeing that. They're recognizing the crack. Like there's nothing that you can do to fill in that crack now. And it has to fall apart so that you can reemerge in a place of emotional understanding and emotional understanding. And it's going to feel new, and it's going to feel frightening, and it's going to feel overwhelming. But you will make it through, and you will overcome. Yeah. So we have cardinal energy here. So Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So you could be a Cancer. This could be especially important for Cancers. Or you could have a lot of cardinal energy in your chart. You could be dealing with a cardinal sign. But we have instigation, bravery, and a pioneering spirit. So, right, crossing new frontiers is what I'm hearing right now. This is you starting something new, or going in a new direction, even if it's the same thing. Like, say it's like with a spouse, and maybe instead of breaking up, you have tried and you both have decided to go to therapy. That would be a new direction, right? Or maybe you've tried therapy and you realize that it's not working. And so you're deciding to try separation to see if maybe both of you guys can get realigned. So that would be a new direction. If this is a project, maybe it's bringing a new perspective to an old project, a fresh perspective to an old project. Or maybe it's just realizing that this project isn't for me, but I know what I want to do moving forward, right? So there's just this new energy that's coming with this situation. South Node, yeah, destined to release. There's this reason this has fallen apart is because you've always been meant to let this go. So this could be a person, a situation, a belief, a way of perceiving the world around you. But you were meant to let this go, and that's why it's falling apart in the way that it has been recently. And it's been very difficult. It's been a challenge, but it is going to bring you closer to alignment with what is for you and what will be good for you. Okay. Yeah. So we have Wolverine on the bottom here with fierceness. And I do feel like you have a very powerful guardian angel or a very powerful gatekeeper or an incredibly powerful angel that is watching over you. But again, with the anger, because this is so Wolverine, right? Like, this is depicting that anger that I was feeling in the beginning. There's something here that you've been battling, and it's almost like it's been battling you back. And that's where the comfort was in the battle, right? It's like every day putting on armor and picking out the best weapon to go to war with this situation. And it's become exhausting. And it's become completely overwhelming. And now instead you have this guardian here that's lifting you out of this situation. It's like, let this situation go to battle for itself and basically collapse on itself. But we're taking you out now. It's because you've expended so much beautiful, precious energy on this situation that you weren't meant to expend. And so we're trying to revitalize you so that you can actually put your energy towards things that matter, towards things that are good for you, right? Yeah, to reshift your focus here with crystals and focus. This is to reshift your focus, okay? And this could be that you have Pisces highly aspect in your chart too, especially with amethyst energy here. That is something that's one of the gemstones for Pisces. But again, we're doing all water signs, so it doesn't matter if you're a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. But again, that is coming through. This has been a mountain to climb, but it's like coming out finally from the darkness and realizing that dark time is something that gave you a lot of courage and it gave you a lot of foundation. It taught you a lot about yourself. And I feel like what it's taught you about yourself has been frightening to, it's been frightening to look at that. Because maybe there's an element where it's like, right, we always feel like we're not enough. That's just the human conditioning. But it's like facing that part of ourselves. There's something here with this situation where you felt like I was just allowing, or I was an instigator here, or I was, maybe I was just allowing them to get away with what they wanted to, or I was, being baited, or I was baiting, like whatever it was here. It's like seeing a part of yourself that you don't really like or admire, but there's also that element of accepting whatever that is, whether that's you being an instigator or you being an enabler or you allowing or whatever it is. It's just reminding yourself to accept that part of yourself, because that part of yourself needs as much love as even the beautiful parts of yourself. Right? We have shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. This is also going to help draw you closer to your abilities, your gifts, and your talents. So whatever those are, letting this go. And I feel like this feels like fuel for the fire. Okay. And when I say that, what I mean, it's like, this feels like fuel for you to use this to move forward. So whatever the energy is that the situation has brought to you, whatever emotion this has brought to you, whether that's grief, sorrow, pain, hurt, anger, overwhelm. It's like all of those emotions are going to be tossed onto the coals, tossed into the fire pit. And that's going to lead you down the road to creating something new, right? Use that as fuel to create something new. We have energy here. It's going to give back a lot of energy, right? By you letting it fall apart. Just sometimes it's not about defending yourself anymore. It's really just about letting whatever people are going to say whatever they're going to say, and you remove yourself from that equation. And that's what it feels like is happening here. Yeah, death. Because this is going away. This situation is coming to an end. Because it has to. Let's get an angel number for you, pile one. What's an angel number for pile one, source? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Okay, so we had soul purpose, life path, divine guidance, success, alignment, mission, and fulfillment. Your angels are pleased with your life choices and are letting you know that you're on the right path. Keep up the good work as you are successfully fulfilling your soul purpose and life mission. How can I continue to align my daily actions with my soul purpose and life mission? Today, acknowledge the progress you've made and take a moment to reaffirm your commitment to your soul's true calling. So this is a very spiritual time for you with the number 7. There's a spiritual alignment here. There's spiritual awakening that's happening here. There's a spiritual understanding that's happening as well. So this is helping you to realign with your soul purpose. That's why I was saying, like, use whatever emotion has come from this as fuel to continue forward on your path, right? You have the power to do so. On the bottom, yeah, 2244, we have acceptance, right? So accepting those emotions, acknowledging them, and understanding that this is all part of what it is to be alive. Surrender, let go, peace, clarity, adaptability, moving forward. Embrace what you cannot change and let go of past grievances. Focus on what you can control moving forward to realign yourself with your goals and your purpose. I mean, a very clear message. I'm not even going to read the rest of the card because it's a very clear message and confirming what I was just saying to you. So the main thing is that this was a very grueling situation. Absolutely. And Source is honoring that and acknowledging that as well. Like, we're not trying to say, like, just get over it. There, no way, no how will anybody on the spiritual side ever tell you just deal with it. That's not what it is. It's about allowing yourself the opportunity to see it for what it is and know, is this something that's worth fighting for? Is this draining your energy? And I feel like for a long time, pile one, you've recognized that this is just draining your energy, and maybe you've tried to patch things up and you've tried to fix it and you've tried to get it back to a sense of normalcy, but there is no normalcy with this, okay? Yeah, a lot of fire here, moderation, rhinoceros, a lot of burning away of the old, right? It's interesting because Wolverine is the number 5 card and we have 32 here. Okay, a lot of similar energies here. This is you burning away the old. Finding moderation, giving back to yourself. So it's like, if you have to give into this situation, we understand that. But you don't have to give all of who you are to this situation. There's a lot of healing here with shaman, ancient healing wisdom. Okay, so yeah, you're gaining access to the Cashapp records with this as well. And I feel like with the soul purpose coming out, you're remembering who you are when you finally let go of this situation and recognize that it doesn't mean that it won't come back. It could come back. If you want it to come back, it could be something that comes back. I just feel like right now it's literally surrendering it instead of holding on so tightly. And especially Cancer, I'm just going to put this out there, especially for those of you that are Cancer, because Cancer's family and friends are everything. And Cancer has a tendency to hold on to things long past their expiration date. And it's something that's truly admirable with you if you have a lot of Cancer placements in your chart, but it's also something that can be detrimental and a downfall for you, because it's like, when do I let go? Like, you'll hold on way past when you should have let go. And I grew up with a Cancer mother, so I understand this, and I also understand how difficult it is to let go. And so please just know, I feel like I need to say this is especially true for those of you that have Cancer, and to those of you that were born in the second decan of Cancer as well, and the third decan. So that would be like split into thirds. So this the second third and the last third of Cancer. So we have autumn, release the old and rest. Yeah. So a lot of release here, a lot of reactivating your solar plexus as well. Because I feel like this has been taking a toll on your ability to take action moving forward, which has affected your solar plexus chakra. In fact, I feel like if you did is it called kinesis, the kinetic check? Okay, so if you put your hands like this and you put them together, like this, and you say, my solar plexus chakra is aligned, right? And you pull. If you can't pull your fingers apart, this is you saying yes, right? But if your fingers come apart like that, that's saying no, right? And you can do this with anything in your life, and it's wild, the answers you'll get. But say it out loud. My solar plexus chakra is aligned and open, right? And so you want to pull as hard as you can. And they'll, whether or not it's aligned or not, and then you can figure out, ask yourself questions, yes or no questions, ask yourself yes or no questions to realign that, okay? So we've got Landa and Clarita with life on earth is a heroic journey. Mastering the visible and the earthly is as important as mastering the invisible and the mystic. So this is a part of your heroic journey, if you will, right? Which means that it's meant to be challenging. And this is an important time for you to trust in the process. So let's see what Landa and Clarita have to say from the book. It says, everything that you encounter on your life journey is pointing the way, guiding you on your path of your soul, right? So this is all about your soul purpose, pile one. It's not just spiritual work such as meditation and performing rituals that will show you the way, but what takes place in your everyday life. Daily tasks, conversations with other people, creative action. This path leads to success, abundance, and ultimately a fulfilled and happy life. Those who only look outside themselves are as unlikely to find this path as those who only look within. To be the hero or the heroine of your own story, welcome and experience all that it offers, as wisdom and greatness can be found in all things. Since the creation of his soul, Landa has been connected with Clarita, a white female dragon whose name signifies clarity. And the message from Clarita is, even heroes and heroines need mentors and teachers. Landa, who is my love and my everything, has many teachers who instruct him in humility, attentiveness, devotion, and combat. Who are your teachers on your heroic journey? Seek them out and listen to them, and you will need their wise counsel soon. Right? So just remembering that all of life, like sometimes we get so stuck in our ways. So we believe that we don't need additional guidance. We believe that we don't need additional help, like that we're strong enough to figure it all out. But that in itself is an illusion. We'll always need help no matter how much we grow. And I feel like this is just that reminder, like it's okay to ask for help, and that there's no shame in asking for help, right? That there's actually beauty in asking for help. You're on your life path, okay? But whatever the situation is that's very heavy in your energy, it's actually deterring you from having the energy necessary to do what you need moving forward. And that's why I feel like, especially recently, things have slowed down to a crawl for you, where you feel like nothing is right, nothing is happening the way that it should. It's because that energy is being placed where it's not meant to. And so this is about bringing your energy back to yourself while also recovering from something that's very, very, very heavy, okay? So this is what I see for you here today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little fall leaves down below and say, I open up my heart to my truth, my journey, and my purpose, knowing that it is okay for me to let go of what I can no longer control. And if it resonated with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this oracle deck, which is the Soul's Journey Lesson Cards by James Van Praagh, or perhaps you were called to this dice with the second house on it, or maybe you were drawn to this little jar filled with amethyst. This is going to be a reading, and it's for Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I did talk about this in the intro. I'll be doing elemental readings, so there will be all 4 elements will be covered. So this is for those of you that have any placement in any of these water signs. This is going to be a message for you. You can come here if you want to check the big 3, check your Venus, or check any other place that you have in alignment with water. This should be a message for you. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and we do things differently here. So there might be triggering statements that arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while remembering that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing, and I'm honored to have you here. So for those of you that are continuing this journey with me, welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks for joining. Let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what is a message for you, pile 2. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Source message for pile number 2. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Message for pile number 2. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, thank you. Message for pile number 2. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So, you know, while I was getting ready for your reading, pile 2 was getting called to. There's something like shadow work that's coming up here. There's been a lot of shadow work that you've been going through. There's been a lot that you've had to work through recently. I feel like a lot of central wounds, right? Like core wounds are coming out. And this has been really a challenge because you've done a lot of healing. You've overcome a lot already. But as we're getting into those core wounds, it feels just as overwhelming as when the first moment you started healing was, right? And that can feel like we've taken steps backwards. And they're saying that no, it's just getting down to the original wounds. You've peeled back so much of the onion that now we're getting to the initial triggers, and getting to those initial triggers. That's what you were trying to hide from for so long, right? That's what the emotional ego was trying to protect us from for so long. And so because it's been trying to protect us from that for so long, like getting down to the root of that, it's getting scared, right? The emotional ego gets even more fearful, and it's fighting back, and it's creating mountains out of molehills. And you've already gained the tools and the resources to heal from this, to overcome this, and to work through it, and not letting your emotional ego convince you otherwise. That's something that's coming through. So on the bottom of the deck, we do have empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of the situation. Okay, so that makes sense, especially with shadow work. This feels like, excuse me, this feels like that work that you're doing is tied into someone who has wounded you. So that could be like a family member, you know, that could be, when we're talking about core wounds, this is like the place that you grew up, right? So that could be a teacher, a friend, a sibling, a parent, a caretaker, and there's a lot of blame and resentment that comes with that as well. It's not unjustified, right? Like whoever hurt you, that's a justifiable resentment. It's a justifiable anger. But with empathy coming out on the bottom of the deck here, it's that reminder that, you know, I feel like, especially with this journey, like a lot of people talk about how, you know, we need to forgive, we need to forget, and all this. And personally, I have learned that forgiveness is very powerful, right? It's a very powerful thing, but forgetting is where we get ourselves in trouble. And I feel like also it's just that reminder that we need to stop blaming the person that hurt us, not because hurt people, because hurt people also heal people, right? But we also, looking at this from both sides, It's a reminder to step back from outside of the emotional box that we put ourselves into with that anger, the hurt, the suffering, the grief, the fear. And remember, it's like this person experienced something that dictated them showing up in this way. And sometimes it's really hard for us to put on the shoe that they've been wearing or to walk a mile in their shoes, because it's like, well, we want them to walk a mile in our shoes first. But sometimes the people that have hurt us are not that aware. Okay, they're not, whether they're aware of hurting us or not, but what I'm saying is that they're not aware of that type of journey, the ability to see things from another's perspective. And that's what empathy gives us, is the ability to recognize that this person went through something treacherous in their life, and that treacherous situation, whether that was trauma with a capital T or trauma with a lowercase t, right? Both are equally overwhelming and can be incredibly wounding to us. And, it's like, when you think about it, it's like, okay, so what would be trauma with a capital T? Like some kind of natural disaster, something like along those lines that's happened, a one-time event that changed somebody's life forever. And what they call capital with a lowercase t is something that's like, emotional abuse, emotional neglect, physical neglect, abandonment, anything along those lines, because those are emotions that build up over time. And maybe it seems kind of counterintuitive to have them that way, but that's what they're talking about. And they talk about that a lot in psychology as well. But these traumas are what the backing is for how all of us show up in life, right? So when you get to be an older person or a parent, you're still run by your traumas. Whether you're an adult or not, that doesn't mean you're going to show up as an adult. And it's not giving them a free pass. Like, that's not what this is. It's just reminding yourself that when you step outside of that box of emotion and saying, well, they need to take accountability for their actions. They need to come to face themselves and this. And while all of that may be true, it's not going to happen unless that person decides it's going to happen for them. Just the same as it wasn't going to happen for you until you had to decide that it had to happen for you. Right? Up until you made the choice to heal, you were also coming from your wounds. And that's what it's reminding you. It's like when you can have that empathy for the situation, it's just an easier way to accept what has happened rather than seeing like this person was taking it out personally on me. Because most of the time that's not necessarily true. And it doesn't mean that it is in all cases. I'm sure there are people out there who absolutely target somebody and take it out on them, but also reminding yourselves that the reason they target people is because that is being driven by a wound as well. And sometimes that can be overwhelming and challenging. Let's get some dice on it. Source for pile number 2, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And I really want to say this to the Scorpios out there, because I know it's really, Scorpios will hold a grudge. Y'all hold a grudge for a long, long time. Okay. Pile number 2, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And reminding yourself, because the grudge and resentment is actually very heavy, heavy energy that we carry that can keep us from our dreams. And it's a lot of energy that we're putting towards something that can be better used somewhere else. Okay. Yeah. So we have the 6th house, Pisces, and the sun. Okay. So you could have Pisces in the 6th house. You could have Pisces sun as well. You could have, and again, it doesn't matter. This is just for those of you that have water signs in your chart. So, but especially true if you have Pisces in the 6th house or Pisces sun. Okay. This is something that's affecting your health. It's also affecting your mental health. And I feel like that's something that can be even more of a reason to really step back and say, like, is what I'm feeling, like, or is what I'm seeing true? I can't remember who I was reading. I don't remember his name. But he wrote a book, and I can't even remember the name of the book. It's been so long since I've read it. But I remember he said, Is it true? Like, this is the question he said. No matter what happens in your day-to-day life, asking yourself, he was a Buddhist monk, and he was asking that question. Is it true? And I remember I wrote it down on a sticky note, and I literally put this sticky note everywhere. So I saw it, right? Like, I had so many sticky notes that said, is it true? And that's the thing, like, it happened at a really crazy time in my life where I was living with somebody who we were best friends, right? We were best friends, and all of a sudden they cut off contact with me. I was living in their house. They cut off contact with me. They had a family member come and kick me out of the house. And I'm not, to this day, I still don't know what happened. Like, I don't know where things went wrong. I don't know why things unfolded the way that they did. I don't know what went through their mind. They never gave me an opportunity to talk to them. It was like we could never talk it out. That was it. They blocked me from all social media. They blocked me from their phone. I had to deal with their family member, and their family member gave me an hour to pack up everything that I had and to get out. And it was a wild situation. And I became homeless. In the matter of an hour, like I became homeless, and I still to this day don't know what had happened. But I remember that question. I'd posted it all over the house. Is it true? And I remember thinking this, like, when it first happened, I was really mad at my friend. I was like, they're a coward. They always talk to me about how it's so important for us to talk it out. It's so important for us to discuss our things and, make sure that we get things resolved. And in the end, they didn't do anything that they said was important to them. And I kept asking myself this question after a while, after the anger stage and after all of that and the grieving stage and after all of that, like, I remember family was calling this person some really cruel names. And I finally told them, I was like, they have a name. And I was like, if you can't refer to them by their name, then I don't want to talk to you about this at all. And in fact, it's not even your business, so we're not going to talk about it. And my family's like, well, yeah, but they did you wrong. And it's like, look, at the end of the day, I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was something that I did that made them mad that I'd never had an opportunity to reflect on because they didn't talk to me, or if there was something else that was going on. But I went through all the stages of grief having to overcome that, because it's like I lost a best friend, and I lost a home, and I lost a life, all in a matter of a very short time. And I remember I wanted to hold a grudge against them, but that statement stayed with me for so long. Is it true? Is it true? And it was something that became a way of looking at all of life. Like, even people who I've had people that I'm still healing from growing up, from my childhood, and asking myself this question, like, is what I'm feeling true? And it's just a reminder to step back from the emotional ego that's wounded, the pride that's wounded within us, and to see it from a different state, to see it from a place of love. Like, how can we see this from a place of love? And that's just something that's challenging, and it's not easy. And especially, like, I have Scorpio moon, so I get it. I get the grudge. Like, I get wanting to hold a grudge for a lifetime. Like, I understand that for sure. And especially when it comes to your emotions. But I also recognize how powerful it can be when you say, enough is enough. Like, holding on to this isn't serving me. It's just hindering my progress, right? And I feel like that's what you're going through right now. And it doesn't matter what your sign is, right? That doesn't matter here. It's just in regards to this, like, holding on to this grudge has become overwhelming. And with the 6th house here, it's actually affected you mentally and emotionally, but it's also affecting you on a physical level right now. So there's like various pains that are coming up in your body, especially in your back, in your low back, and especially in your hips and your thighs. You could have injured your thighs or have bruises on your thighs. The knee is another one. Like, maybe you rammed your knee into the couch or into a desk or something like that, or your elbow is coming up as well. I feel like there's something here that has affected your daily routines because of this anger, or because of this core wound, or because of this overwhelming energy that's coming in, and it's affected your routines, and it's also affected the amount of energy that you have to give to your journey. And so you could be self-medicating to overcome that. And that could be smoking weed, that could be drinking alcohol, that could be, you know, anything like that. And you know, I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do, but anytime Pisces comes up, you know, we have to be careful, because Pisces energy is the sign, it can be the sign of addiction. And we can be telling ourselves it's not an addiction when it really has become a coping mechanism, which is what turns it into an addiction, right? Because it's the only thing that seemingly gets us through. Well, and I did not mean to spend this much time on the dice or, you know, anything like that, but I feel like this is a really important issue that's coming through here for you. And this is just saying that it's really important for you right now to refocus on your daily routines and to not continue letting the self-medication get in the way. And that could be watching TV, that could be being on your phone, that could be checking out, right? Zoning out and not focusing on what's important for you. So that's what's coming through, and it's really starting to affect you overall and how you feel. And that's why it's saying, it's like why we're having the empathy here. It's like, just there's an identity or an idea that you're holding on to when it comes to this core wound. It's not that it's wrong, okay? And that's not what Source is saying. It's not that it's wrong, but it is creating dissonance in your soul and how you're showing up in your day-to-day. So maybe this person or this situation was absolutely off base in the way that they treated you, and they created a lot of hurt and pain, and maybe they deserve to get that back. Yeah, but I feel like it's just something that's overwhelming your mind. So like if this is like a parent or a sibling or a friend, right? This is there, that's all you're thinking about, like in your free time, is just this person and what they did to me, and like I can't believe they did this to me, how dare they did this to me. Like, so instead of focusing on like, okay, I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole when it comes to this person, and I need to refocus on something that's going to make me feel good about myself right now. So maybe going and taking a bath, listening to your favorite music, meditating. It's hard to meditate when your mind has gone down that rabbit hole, but, you know, like sometimes doing a body scan or yoga nidra will help reconnect you back to your body and into this moment. Maybe going and having fun, playing a game, doing something to get your mind elsewhere so that you can refocus on the things that matter to you. And I feel like that's what they're really wanting you to pay attention to right now. This is a slow process. So don't expect this to change overnight. Don't expect this to just like, I do this one time and I'm going to be free of this forever. No, like you're going to have to rebuild your routine is what it feels like. And it's like, I feel like you're good at building routines. I just feel like lately this core wound has been it's been at the forefront of everything for you, that it's taken over. And it's not even about healing it anymore. It's just about recognizing that there's nothing that you can do to change what had happened. I feel like you've healed as much as you can on this, you know, and we'll be healing our whole life. But wow. Okay. There's something about this, like you feel like you were betrayed. You feel like you were tricked by someone here, that someone did this because they wanted to see you fail. Even as a child, like they wanted to see you fail. And that's why I was telling you, it's like when people choose us as their prey, if you will, like if they're narcissists, or say we're born into a family of very neurotic people, you know, it's partially just their wounding that's actually making them choose people. It's what will fulfill the need of the emotional ego. And the emotional ego becomes very clever in the way that it drives people, even us, right? Like even the empathic self, it becomes very clever in how it drives us. And I feel like for you, Pile 2, there's this energy that's coming up where it's like you really feel like this person had it out from you since day one. And maybe they did. But the problem that we're running into is that the focus is solely on that. You're stagnant right now because this is driving a ton of anxiety. And it's making you feel very secluded and stuck on your journey. You're not able to move forward. And that's why they're saying it's so important for you to get back to your daily routines. It doesn't mean that your life didn't fall apart because this happened. In fact, that's, I feel like, what has happened. Your whole life blew up. That's why I shared the story of my friend, my ex-friend, with you. And it's like my whole life blew up, but it's like I had to get back to my routine, and it became, my routine was what helped me regain a sense of clarity and balance in my life at that time. And that's what they're saying. It's like right now there's a memory that's been ripped wide open for you. And that memory is driving you away from your routine because this memory, it's huge. It's the raw wound of the core wound itself. And it's reminding yourself that even though we've dug down to the core rawness of this wound, that it still does not have the power over me. I have the power over me, and I can keep moving forward. And I feel like as you keep moving forward in your routine, you're actually going to be moving the emotions of this core wound into, in and out, right? It's going to come out, and it's going to come out in maybe some really surprising ways. This could be expressing a new sense of creativity, having a new form of art that you maybe pour into, and maybe this is you start doing spoken word or poetry or something along those lines, or you write a story and you pour all that into a character in a story. You get it out on paper, and then, you have something happen to that character and you're like, oh, that feels a lot better. I feel like, oh my gosh, okay, I can put this to bed now, right? And that's what this feels like. North Node, destined to have. Yeah, you're destined to move on from this and to have balance and to have clarity in your life. And it's interesting because it's like you're also destined to have a lot of stability around you. And I feel like this is creating a lot of mental instability. Now, again, I don't feel like this person has changed. I feel like this person keeps showing up. It does feel like a person. It could be a situation, but it does feel like a person. I feel like this person continues to show up the way that they've always shown up. But the more you grow, there's also an expectation that's coming with your growth where it's like, well, I'm growing. Why the heck can't you? Because they haven't chosen to, right? So yeah, we have equality here, seahorse equality. So with this coming out next after the North Node energy, showing you're meant to have people who see you as equals and who you see as equals, who have this equal reciprocity between you two. Right now, it's a very turbulent time. And you're purifying your soul, your journey, okay? And that's not always easy going through that purity, but it's necessary. I feel like you're going to recognize when people show up from that place of sincerity because you're dealing with this core wound at its initial wounding point. That's what this feels like. The initial wound is coming up. So we have summer solstice with radiance. So I do feel like you're going to be better aligned during the summer. That's going to make you feel a lot better about yourself. Like you're going to see your routine coming into play here. And by summertime, whenever you're reading this or whenever you're seeing this, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself and a lot more in alignment with your journey. And you're going to be radiant as well. But the more you let go of this situation, the more you're going to shine as well. Okay? Yeah, there's a lot of anger here. Volcano with volatility. There's a lot of upset energy here. And there's a lot of why? This card asks, why me? Why me? Why did I have to go through this? I'm so mad that I had to experience this. I'm so mad that I have to live through this. But also, Volcano is like an act of God, right? Source is the one who ordained this, and that can be frustrating too. He's like, what the heck, Source? Why can't you just have my back in this? And we don't see it as that, but sometimes that's exactly what Source is doing, is making sure that we recognize our own worth by showing us what we've been accepting for so long, or what we've grown comfortable with for so long, and suddenly making it super uncomfortable. And that creates a lot of volatility in our journey. And it's something that will begin to fall apart, but it falls apart so that we can see our own self. And it's not easy. Stay rooted and grounded with Earth Guardian. Yeah, so right now it's about getting back to your routine, grounding yourself, because this is like wrecking a sense of yourself that your emotional ego has been playing havoc in your life for a long time. And now that you've got to that raw wound, now the emotional ego has nothing to hide behind anymore. Right? I can't hide behind this initial wound anymore. It's like now it's facing that place within you that's very vulnerable. It's very open. And while it might be because of somebody and the way that they showed up, now you get to heal that for yourself. And as you focus back on your routine and you recognize that even this core wound cannot deter me from the journey. It cannot deter me from my dreams. It can't keep me from creating the life that I want to. The minute that you recognize the power behind that, nothing ever will stop you. It won't. There's nothing in the world that will ever keep you from going forward for what's good for you. Yeah, we have drum with dream and journey. And also paying attention to your dreams right now is really important. You're going to be getting a lot of messages in your dreams. A lot of signs and synchronicities in your dreams right now that are going to help you move forward. Creativity. Yeah, so this is that confirmation of what I was feeling earlier. Like you're going to be able to creatively express this emotion in a new way. So whether that is through writing, through speaking, through singing, through art, through creativity, you know, like building something, making something, like you're just going to be pouring that into this new creative endeavor. Or even an old creative endeavor. Like you're going to use it. Surrender, yeah. Letting it go. Not holding it on to anymore and not identifying with it any longer. It's now a part of you where you see this is something that happened to me, but it's not who I am, right? Just because this person continues to show up from this shady energy, this trickster energy, that doesn't make me a bad person. I'm not the bad person. I'm not the problem in this situation, right? Whereas before, maybe you felt like it was you. You were the whole reason. Like if it wasn't you, this person never would have shown up this way, but it wouldn't have mattered. Right? This person was inevitably going to show up the way that they showed up, regardless if it was you or someone else. And so it's remembering like we can take it personal or we can see it for what it is. And when we take it personal, it keeps us in a downward spiral. But when we see it for what it is, we can truly surrender it to source and say, okay, this is not mine to carry. So I'm just going to give it to you and let you deal with it. Yeah. So we have 6363. Keep the faith. Hope, resilience, trust, optimism, faith, endurance. No matter how tough things get, remember that hope always exists. Your angels are guiding you through these challenges, reminding you that brighter days are ahead. There's a song, Brighter Days Are Gonna Come, and it's by Sigala, S-I-G-L-A. S-I-G-A-L-A. Yeah, Sigala. Yeah, oh my gosh, I can spell, I promise you guys. But it's a really good song, and it's called Brighter Days Are Gonna Come. You might get further synchronicities with that song, but it's just a really good song. What challenge in my life requires more faith and trust right now? How can I nurture hope in difficult times? Write down 3 things you're grateful for today, even in the midst of challenges, to help restore your faith and optimism. So focusing on gratitude will really help you as well. And also remembering to trust in this process and keep faith that things are going to work out for you, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Like we have to go through ups and downs, and sometimes the downs are really hard to go through, but when we hold on, things are going to work out. Walk away, 929. Release, let go, new beginning, self-respect. Moving on in freedom, let go of people and situations that no longer support your spiritual growth. You deserve love and respect, and it is your right to seek environments that honor your well-being. So this is about you seeking an environment that's going to nurture and support you. And if that's not the environment that you're in right now, it's okay to move away from that and to go towards something that is going to support you. Yeah, so house 3, we have early learning, childhood relations, the rational mind, and communications. So this is something that was learned early on, okay? And again, this is reconfirming what I was feeling, that this is a initial core wound coming up that affected how you showed up in a lot of situations in your life, and you've ripped open that wound by this shadow work that you were doing, and that's okay. That's how it works sometimes, right? Sometimes we have to rip open those wounds again so that we can actually work through them. And I feel like that's what you're doing right now, is working through it. And sometimes it's super overwhelming, but it's also helping you to find balance once again. And then we have number 7 here with armadillo and groundedness. So stay rooted and stay grounded. So important to stay grounded at this time. Realizing you're not losing yourself. Okay, that's not what's happening here. You're not losing yourself. You're regaining access to a deeper part of yourself. Wow, so there's a stink bug that's flying around in here. No matter where I go, always there's stink bugs. But he's just chilling. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read this from the book, Forgiveness. Interesting. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Wow, what a powerful message. That's what I was feeling this whole time. Like, resentment and blame were blocking your journey. And we see that here. It's like, this is something I can't forgive. But, you know, it's like with that situation that I explained earlier in the beginning of the reading. I grew up back with the train. I grew up in a situation where my mom always told me, forgiveness is a daily walk, right? Like, I grew up, and I can't tell you how many times she told me that. So it's like, I was kind of conditioned to believe in forgiveness from an early age. And I feel like that was part of Source's design. But I also recognize that some people really struggle with forgiveness. And that's something that, like, no, we never forgive. We never forgive. No matter what, we never forgive. And, you know, I feel like the thing is that no matter how much you hold on to it, right? Like this, like whatever this core wound is, it's like no matter how much you blame them, no matter how much you want them to take accountability for it, it's not going to change. Like, there's nothing you can do to change it. So rather than holding on to the shackles that are keeping you from growing, that are keeping you from creating what you want in your life, forgiveness allows you to release those chains of the past and say, I'm letting myself move on because I'm tired of holding on to this, right? That's what forgiveness is. And it's a reminder that we cannot change the past. And we recognize that when a snake is a snake, we can forgive it for being a snake, but that doesn't mean that we're going to keep walking into its den, right? Says you can never flow with your natural energy of love unless you release the negative energy of hate, anger, intolerance, or blame. Every soul in your path has free will, and you have no control over that. What you do have control over is how you react to the manifestation of others' free will. Holding on to that negative energy will strengthen karmic cycles, and forgiveness can break the pattern. The most important person you must learn to forgive is always yourself. Blaming yourself for failures blocks the natural flow of love, which will attract all good things into your life. So forgiving yourself is very important here. And when you forgive yourself, you'll find space to forgive others. And it won't feel like you're letting go of something, and it won't feel like you're giving them the okay for what they're doing. You're realizing, like, I've forgiven myself, and I know what that means, and I know how that's freed me. And you're seeing the same pattern where it's like, I can forgive others, and that will free me even more. It's also on page 44, which is, this is where you're going to find new stability in your life, okay? I know this wasn't an easy reading. It was truly powerful. But if you do feel like this is your reading today, leave the little sun emoji down below and say, while forgiveness is challenging, I see that it can help me reconnect with my own inner radiance. So today, I allow that to be my truth. And remember, faith is a daily walk. Forgiveness is a daily walk. These are not things that are one and done, right? It's a slow process, and it's just reminding yourself day by day, okay? So with that, if you feel like you would like to support the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. It would mean the world to me if this resonated with you, if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message today, pile 2. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 3rd house on it, or perhaps you were drawn to this little jar filled with fluorite, or maybe you felt called to this oracle deck, the Goddess, Gods, and Guardians Oracle cards by Sophia Brashford. This is going to be a reading for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and that doesn't matter. It can be in your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, or just any placement that you have in one of these water signs you want to check in on. That's what this reading is for. I'm going to be doing all the elements and all the zodiac signs, so they will be coming up as you go, and they'll be one after the next, okay? So that's what's going to happen for the next 4 pick-a-card readings. All right. We're all here sharing this human experience together, and this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. I do things differently here on this channel. There may be triggering statements that do arise on the readings themselves. There's no obligation to force it to fit, while remembering that triggers are a beautiful blueprint for us to deepen our healing journey. As I'm saying that, Brigid is coming in with you are a healer. So that was pretty synchronistic. All right. And if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. Your time, your energy, and your presence are a true gift and a blessing today. All right, source. So pile number 3. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What's their message today, source? What would you like to say? Pile number 3. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We're going to get there. Pile number 3. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What would you like to say today, source? Okay, thank you. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay. What oracle card is going to help us better understand the message today? All right, thank you. Bottom of the deck, we have Iana, believe in yourself. Interesting. So this is a pretty telling energy coming in that right now it's about having belief in yourself. And I feel like maybe that's been a challenge. Sometimes water signs, and any zodiac sign really, but water signs, we have a hard time believing in ourselves because we feel things so deeply. So we really do take a lot of things very personally, right? And that's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can be the thing that keeps us from believing in ourselves, because like when someone doesn't treat us the way that we believe that we should be treated, or the way that we would treat them, it makes us feel like we can't believe in ourselves. Like there's something that's wrong with us. And this is just that reminder that there's nothing wrong, that it's important for you to see yourself as worthy and deserving, because that's where it all begins. That's where freedom begins. Okay. All right, so let's tap in and see. Pile number 3. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Source, what would you like to say? Pile number 3. 4th house, Cancer energy, and the moon. So this is especially true if you are a Cancer. We have all Cancer supporting placements here, okay? And again, if you're here, you were called here because you're one of the other signs, or you have those signs in your chart, that's fine. But this is especially true for those of you that are one of these zodiac signs. And I cannot make this up. There is a tiny little, hold on, come back, me friend. It is a very tiny little beetle. I don't know if you can see him crawling on my hand here. See him right there? It's a little teeny tiny beetle, and beetles are a sign of good luck. I'm not sure. It looks kind of like a ladybug, but hey, my friend. I'm going to try and put him on the window here because he'll go outside. But beetles are a sign of good luck and good fortune. So, there you go. Now you can go outside. He fits through the little screens on the screen, so I'm sure that's how he got in here in the first place. Yeah, so we've got a lot of Cancer energy here. I feel like there's been a lot of passive aggressive energy that's been surrounding you and a lot of needing for nurture yourself. It's been really hard for you to nurture yourself. There's been something that's weighing heavily on your heart, weighing heavily on your soul. And it's been taking away from actually focusing on what's going to make you feel good, right? And I feel like it's just you're in this place, pile 3, where you're trying to shoulder this situation alone. And I feel like Source is trying to tell you that this is not something that you were ever meant to shoulder at all. But there's a part of you that feels like, I have to do this. Like, I have to carry this. I have to solve this. I have to fix this. And that is not at all what Source wanted you to do. Source wants you to come back to your home, to you, and come back to that place of balance within, and to come back to that place of compassion for yourself and healing that part of yourself. So there's a portion of this that's really resonating with the inner child coming in, that's saying when you were young, you took it upon yourself to make sure that everybody felt good in your family, or to make sure that everybody was okay in your family. Like if they were having a bad day, you're the one that made them feel better. If they were, sad or depressed, you're the one that made them laugh. Like you took on a lot of responsibilities as a child that weren't yours. And part of that is a survival technique because you feel so deeply. So feeling the pain of others was too overwhelming. It's like, let's just bring everybody back to a positive place. Let's bring everybody back to happiness. Like that was your goal in life. And that's really admirable, pile 3, but it's also incredibly exhausting because it means unintentionally you're going to do this when it has nothing to do with you, or when it's not yours to do in the first place. And so this is about healing that part of your inner child that says, it's my responsibility to make sure that everyone feels happy. It's honestly, the truth is, it's your responsibility to make sure that you feel good and happy, pile 3. That's it. No one else is your responsibility like that. Not your family, not your kids, not your friends, not your coworkers. And I know that sounds so weird because it's like, no, this is how I've always done things, or this is what I know to be true. But we cannot control how other people feel, no matter how much we want to. We don't want to see them suffering. We can't control that. They have to go through their journey just the same like you would have to go through your journey. And so this is Source reminding you to come back to this place of compassion, where you can hold compassion for someone when they're suffering. You can be there for them, but you cannot carry it for them. That is an unfair ask. And that's also enabling someone to not focus on their own healing, right? Like you're basically saying like, I'll do it for you. And most people, like, think about that. Like if someone came up to you and said, I'll do your healing for you, there's a part of you that'd be like, oh, thank God. Someone finally came through and said this for me. Like I've been waiting for someone to do that for me because I've done this so many times for other people, right? Like you would be willing to give it away. And part of that comes from just sheer exhaustion of doing it from others. So think about that. For you, it's because of sheer exhaustion. But for others, it's just because they don't want to take accountability for their own journey. And if someone's going to come in and allow them to not take accountability for their journey because someone else is going to do it for them, they're going to keep letting that other person do it. And that's what I feel like you've been doing a lot of. And I do feel like you've noticed this. But I feel like it's also just feeling like, but if I'm not serving people, if I'm not helping them, like I feel like I can't believe in myself because I don't feel like I'm doing anything that's worthwhile. That's not true at all. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are greedy when it comes to what you have to offer. And I feel like that's something that when you look at it from how it is, it's like, are these people getting to know you? Do they care about what's going on with you? Do they only want to dump things on you? These are things to look at, right? Like, which can be really hard. And there's people who have good intentions in life, but there's still people who expect others to carry them. Or if you've created that dynamic, they're going to still expect you to carry them. And it might be someone you really, really love, or people you really, really care about. But then that's the other thing, is like, what happens when you step away? Right? Do they get mad? Do they stop talking to you? Do they give you the silent treatment? You know, what happens when you choose to give them back their problems? And that's going to be really telling for you on how they feel about you. And the first thing is to remember that just because they're rejecting you, that doesn't mean it's your fault. Okay. And that's another thing to look at here. And I feel like that's why it's been something that's really hard for you to believe in yourself. It's misguided, right? It's not seeing clearly. It's believing that my worth is tied to how people accept me or approve of me. And I've been there. I know a lot of my clients have been there. This is not you being alone, pile 3. This is just very conditioned into us that we're tied to our bankrolls, or we're tied to our validation from outside sources, or we're tied to the praise that we receive in life. Like, our value and our worth has never been tied to us, when that's the only thing that matters, is how we see ourselves. And so that's why with Iana coming in here, it's reminding you to really believe in yourself, to come back to nurturing yourself. Okay. Wow, we've got 6 and 6 in reverse. And yeah, oh my goodness. Okay. So this could be an Aquarius that you're dealing with, or a Leo that you're dealing with. You could have also Aquarius placements highly aspect in your chart with Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy, or you could have Leo as well in your chart. This is really, really bothering you mentally. There's something about this where you don't feel like you're good enough, or that you don't have enough talent to do whatever this is. So there's either someone here that said something to you. There could have been a lot of people who said something to you. You know, like if you have a channel, or if you're putting yourself out there on the internet, you know, the trolls are everywhere. Just trying to remind people that people are trying to make people feel bad because they feel bad. And the internet has given a lot of people freedom to act absolutely cruel and vicious towards others while never taking accountability for their own actions. But this could also be family, right? Like, this could be the mother wound. So this could be a mother who's really, really unkind to you, or had expectations of you to be a certain role, or to fulfill a certain role. And that just doesn't work for you. So like, maybe she expects you to get married, or she expects you to have children, or she expects you to do a certain job, or she expects you to, right? Like, there's a sense of expectation that's coming here. Like, you're only successful if you're married, have kids, own a house, and have a career by the time you're 25. And you could be over 25 and have none of those things and feel very unsuccessful. Okay, that's the example they're giving here. And it could be anything. Okay, it could be anything, but it's like there's like an expectation that's been put on you, and you have far gone past that time frame of that expectation, or that expectation is not anything that you want to do anything to do with. And there's been a lot of feeling like, okay, maybe I should just give up and go back to doing what, you know, mom said, or give up and go back to doing what my friend said, or, you know, they said, especially with Aquarius energy here, this could be something that you're inventing, creating. This is something on social media, like maybe you're trying to uplift people on social media, but you're not getting a huge response, or something like that. And it's just a reminder, like, people are drawn to negativity. Okay, like, people are drawn to negativity because it's been so reinforced for so long, that to break free and to start changing in a positive way, it takes time, and it takes allowing the snowball to be super pebble sized in the beginning, and to know that it's not going to grow very fast, but one day it will gain momentum, and one day it will gain speed, and it will grow a lot faster than you could have ever imagined. And so that's what they're saying here. It's like, there's something here that you're trying to shift, and that could be a belief for other people, like helping other people, but it's starting with yourself and reminding yourself, believing in yourself first. So it's like, not what you have to offer, because what you have to offer is very important and very valid. But there's people around you that are trying to keep that for themselves. or they're trying to convince you that it'll never work because they don't believe that it'll ever work. And tying your worth and value to whether or not this person believes it'll work demeans what you've been doing, right? Because you're not what this person thinks of you. And it could be that they're jealous. It could be that they have their own inner feelings about it. Whatever that is, that's not what matters here. It's just that what Source is showing, especially with all these Swords cards and with the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Swords coming out together, there's someone here who's conceited, okay? But there's also someone here who wants to mislead you because they're misleaded. So it's like, I believe that you should work a 9 to 5 because that's the only way you're ever going to make money. Right? Like that idea that I was saying with the mom. I believe that you need to have your first 2 kids, a career, own a house, and a car by the time you're 25. Like, whoa, I just got out of college when I was 24. Like, how am I supposed to create all that in a year, right? So there's like sometimes these very misguided beliefs that people continue to pass on. And to tell people, you know, it's like, okay, like, I don't know why this is coming in. This is so random that this came in, but it's like mosquitoes, right? Like everybody's like, oh, well, you know, like if you get eaten a lot by mosquitoes, it's because you have sweet blood, but that's not actually what it is. It has something to do with the carbon output. Like mosquitoes are attracted to carbon or something like that. And so it's like, it has to do with how you're breathing. So, you know, like if you're working out at night, and you're outside, you're going to get eaten a lot more than if you're not working out. Why? Because it's your body heat, and they have heat sensors, and it's the amount of carbon that you're putting out. So there's like all this scientific stuff behind it, right? But the myth is that you have sweet blood, right? And so there's like a myth here. That's what it feels like. There's a myth here that's not actually got any backing to it, that people are like, oh, it's this. Like, oh, you'll never succeed being an inventor because I've never met anybody that's been an inventor, and I've never met anybody that's succeeded. Well, that doesn't mean that inventors are naturally born to fail, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Or like if you're trying to build something online, if you're trying to elicit a positive change, you know, so that's what it feels like. And it feels like then this also equally so that this person expects you to carry them and their emotional well-being. And that's becoming exhausting as well. And so there's a need to cut a cord here. But there's also a need to see, is this person, what this person's saying, is this really true? Okay, they have a problem with authority. There's been a lot of arguments between you and them. It's because there's happiness for you to find balance with yourself and to find emotional freedom. This person has a problem with authority, and that means that if you have the authority over your own life, they're already going to see that as a threat. And so they're naturally going to be coming from their emotional ego. Okay, they're going to be coming from whatever wounds that is attached to. And that's what they're saying. So it's misguided. This is a misguided. Someone is misguiding you because they're misguided. So it doesn't make it true. But also attaching your worth and your value to how they feel about you, that's not fair, right? Source wants you to move into more situations where there's equal give and take. Give and receive love. Find value and see beauty. But also to find beauty in what it is that you're offering. If you see beauty in what it is that you're offering, then other people are going to see beauty. It doesn't mean that it's going to change overnight and that suddenly, you know, today you had one person who saw the beauty in it, and tomorrow you're going to have a million people who see the beauty in it. But the more that you see the value in what it is that you have to offer, again, the pebble starts to grow bigger, and it's slow. And there's some days when it won't grow at all, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that it's not making an impact. And that's what I feel like Source is saying here. Pisces energy on the bottom, intimacy, intuition, and compassion. So compassion is the thing. This is the theme here. It's like holding compassion for yourself. I feel like being kind to yourself. It's like, you know, like if things feel slow, can you still be kind and compassionate to yourself and not beat yourself up and be like, oh, well, I'm doing something wrong because it's slowing down, or like there's obviously not for me because it's slowing down. That's not the truth, because I feel like no matter what, this is something that you still want to do. This is still something that you want to build. But there's the mother wound here that's coming up that's saying like it's not okay for you to encourage yourself when things get bad. It's easier to berate yourself when things get bad, or when things look like they're not working out. That doesn't mean that they aren't working out. It just, they appear as though they're not working out. And so there's a need for change here. Your pile 3, you got the number 33 card. So we have 333. Your angels are with you. Something that you're creatively working on. But with the chameleon and change here, it's reminding you, you're not meant to blend in. Right? So all these outdated illusions or myths of how life is supposed to be lived, right? They're myths. That means that you are going to be someone who disproves that when you continue to move forward on this journey for yourself. There's this connection that's holding you back. Tarantula. It's weighing on you. So there's someone here who's weighing on your heart, who's trying, you know, what, and here's the thing, like, I could say that they're trying to keep you small. They're doing this on purpose. They want you to feel bad about yourself. But ultimately, that just keeps perpetuating the eye for an eye. You know, like, oh, well, of course they do. And it makes us feel kind of grandiose at the end of the day. Like, yeah, we have something so good to offer that they want to make me feel bad. I agree that there are a lot of people out there who will try to sabotage us, but ultimately it's because of their own internal discrepancies. It has nothing to do with us. But we like to take it personal. We like to think that we're the ones that instigated it because that's how the emotional ego works like that. And so instead of saying, like, you know, it's like, oh, well, they want to keep you small. It's that they're uncomfortable with the fact that you might have found a way to live life outside of the norm and they didn't. And it's not because it's you. It's because, again, those internal feelings of like, well, I worked harder, or I suffered more, or I went through this, or I went through that, so I deserve it more than pile 3. Everybody deserves it equally, but not everybody chooses to walk the journey equally. And that's the difference. And so you've chosen to walk your journey and focus on your journey. And that's why their internal demons are freaking out. And that's why they're projecting on you right now. And it's not something to take personal. And sometimes that's really hard to look at. But also reminding ourselves that if we're not taking it personal, it means that we can easily, maybe not easily, it means that we can simply put it down and not continue to carry it on. But this is about believing in yourself and not what someone else is saying about you. Yeah, this is your wake-up call. There's been a lot of emotion tied to this situation. A lot of emotion, and with just cause. I mean, especially if this is someone that you love and you care about deeply. You know, it's like when they make you feel bad about yourself, or like they say really nasty things about you. It's hard, you know, it's like... I had this a long time ago when I was doing videos on Facebook. I remember... Gosh, this is like 7 years ago. I remember I had this topic that came up and I asked people, I was like, why is it that we give people we love a bad time? Right? And that's what they call it. I'm giving you a bad time. But sometimes the things that they say are really mean. Like, I remember my ex used to call his little sister, who looked like an angel. She was so beautiful. And he would always tell her, ta feita. And which is, you're ugly. It's like, you're a little ugly. That's what he would always call her all the time. And she would always get so mad about it. And he's like, well, that's how you know I love you, is because I'm calling you ugly. And it's like, I personally, like, I don't understand that. And I, you know, like, I know what it is to tease people, but it's like, I mean, meanly teasing people. And so, as she grew older, she really believed that she wasn't beautiful. And I would always tell her, you're so beautiful. I was like, you don't even realize how beautiful you are. And sometimes I would just stare at her because she was so beautiful. And she was like, why are you staring at me? And I was like, because you are so beautiful. And I want you to know that. And she's like, oh, okay. And so I was like, but she had heard so much from her brother that she was ugly, that that's what she believed. Right. And it's like, is that really love? But that's like what people equate to love. And it's like this idea that like, oh, I'm going to give you a bad time. And that's what I feel like this is what has happened, is there's an emotionally charged energy here where it's like someone's trying to convince you that this was love when it really wasn't. It was just a continuation of a wound, right? Like, oh, well, this is how my parents treated me when I was growing up. And so this is how I treat you too. Not seeing their own wound. They're just not seeing their own wound. But you're getting woken up to the fact that this is very emotionally charged, and that waking up to that emotion is helping you to recognize that it's not yours to hold on to anymore, but to stay true to your path. With stone people here in vigilance, to stay true to the path that you're walking on, that everything will work out as you continue down your own path. And I talked about that on that video too, as I was like, it's just interesting that we say this is out of love, you know. And I'll never forget like how many people I had talked to that always said, well, if I stop giving you a bad time, then you know something's wrong. And it's like, but that's like, especially in America, like that's our culture. Our culture is based on, what do they call it? Negging. Like that is something that our culture is based on. It's a very negative thing. And it's negative heckling. I think that's what that negging is like broken down to. It's like negative heckling. It's like you go up to a woman and you want to ask her out and you're like, oh, you know, like I wouldn't date someone who looks like you. And immediately she's like, what do you mean? Who looks like me? Like, what the, are you saying I'm ugly or something like that? Well, that's not exactly what I would say. Right? Like we basically have this belief that if we're attacking people's confidence, that somehow that's a sign of attraction or love or kindness. And it's not. It's not. And I feel like that's why it's been really hard for you to believe in yourself, is because growing up, and that could be from your mother directly, like she was doing it from what she believed was love, but it was just continuing on wounds, right? It was just continuing on those weird situations. And so for her, she believes in her heart, this is me loving you. And for you, you're like, this does not feel like love at all. Like, this is not how I see love. And it's not that you're right or wrong, or that she's right or wrong. It's just realizing that this is not something that resonates. We don't resonate on this situation. And so we're going to have to find a place to agree to disagree, while also setting boundaries, right? Like, so maybe saying like, I appreciate that that's how you feel like you're saying you love me, but I don't appreciate you saying those things to me, and I need you to stop. You know, and then deciding what does that mean moving on. And it's interesting. I was just drawn to the moon here and the pearl. They look very much the same. This is something that has really been building for a long time. While it has created a lot of upset in your life, but it's also created a way of viewing the world. Like I said, it's like you want to help people. And that might be why you're so driven to helping people, pile 3, is because of what you grew up around, and because of that similar energy where it's like, this is, I don't see this as love. Like I want to be love in the world, and I want people to feel that. And why you're taking on those problems for people is like, I can show them love by healing it for them. But also recognizing that you have power in setting strong boundaries. You can also protect yourself, right? And that's the thing. We want you to protect yourself and not continue down these misguided roads where you saw life completely 180 from your family, but also kept you in a misguided place where you couldn't believe in yourself or couldn't see yourself, right? Broken arrow, embrace the energy of peace. Yeah. And so, and this also feels like there's something that's broken. There's a pattern that's breaking here. Okay. But also coming back to that place of peace within, and not letting what has happened in the past be the determining factor as to how you keep treating yourself. This is about how you're treating yourself, how you see yourself, finding your happiness. Yeah. Happy, when you're happy, that's how you know you're following your bliss. That's how you know you're following your path. So coming back to a state of happiness. Also, sacral chakra energy, you chose these cards, which are orange. So healing the sacral chakra. This is my right to feel. So how you feel about this situation is 100% okay, but also not projecting that back into the world, but rather working through it, moving through it, right? Ghost. Okay, so there's ghost energy here. This is ghosts of the past coming back, but this is also, this could be someone who maybe you had to ghost, or who you're thinking about ghosting, or this is someone who ghosted you. And it's just that wound is continuing to thrive because there's a lot that's tied to it. Okay, we're going to get an angel number here. On the bottom of the deck, we have 0, new beginnings, fresh start, opportunities, creation, hope, positivity, and growth. Everything starts with a blank slate. You have the power to create whatever you desire. Embrace a fresh start with an open mind. New opportunities are on their way, so stay positive and hopeful. And I'm not going to read the rest of this, but I do want to point out, you know, there's that saying, and I don't remember who says it. It's like when you see a zero, you either see nothing or you can look through and see everything. And that's what I feel like is very important for you, pile 3. It's like reminding yourself that I can see nothing if I choose to, but I can also look through and I can see everything. Look, protection, guardian, drop your shield. So this is a coping mechanism. Trying to save everyone from themselves has become a coping mechanism. And it could be a coping mechanism so that you don't know. As I'm trying to take a drink, it could have been a coping mechanism so that you don't have to face yourself and to heal yourself. But it's like dropping your shields and coming back to listening to your intuition and remembering that you will show yourself the way, okay? And again, look, she's got a pearl in her hand. There's something about finding your inner gem here. Okay, like seeing yourself as a gem, seeing yourself as a treasure, recognizing that you are precious to yourself. You should be precious to yourself. Look, you're the one that was there when you took your first breath, and you'll be the last person there when you take your last breath. You are the only one that has that privilege in life. No one else has that privilege, right? And that's something that it's like remembering that helps us see ourselves from a very special place. We're special because we are ourselves. You should never want to be someone else because there will only ever be you, one of you in existence in all of time. From the past to the future to the present, the you now will only ever be the you that will exist. And that is precious and that is special. And that's why it's important to believe in yourself. So we have 7722, ask for help, support, guidance, connection, vulnerability, community, and trust. Remember, no one succeeds alone. It's okay to seek guidance and support. Embrace the strength found in community and don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. In what areas of my life am I trying to manage everything alone? How can I reach out for support? Identify one person or resource you can turn to today for guidance or support and take the step to reach out. As I was saying, like you're shouldering something here and it's not yours to shoulder. It's okay for you to ask assistance. Like that could be going to a therapist, that could be going to a community, that could be finding an online support group, a forum, whatever it is. But connecting with like-minded people will help you see that you are powerful as you are right now. And it will also give you some future ideas to move forward without having to carry everybody on your shoulders like you have been. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at this card and read it from the book. Pele, light your fire. It's interesting. In Pele, she's the volcanic goddess of Hawaii. NOP. Singing the alphabet in my head. I don't know if you caught that, but I was. So it says, channel your creativity and emotional passion. This has been an underlying message for the whole reading. It's like using your emotional energy as fuel. Get energized. So Pele, the passionate goddess of the volcanoes and fire who created the Hawaiian Islands, said to dwell in the crater of the Kilauea volcano. Pele's molten lava both creates and destroys. Okay. Pele explodes into your world today with volcanic force and searing heat, so prepare to be shaken and stirred. You have been doing a good job at keeping a lid on your emotions and passions, but something might be about to erupt. As long as you channel them positively, you can boldly let your fiery feelings and creative juices flow. If you've been feeling lackluster recently, Pele is here to light the fire in your belly. Imagine this flaming goddess standing in front of you, warming up your solar plexus. You might resonate with one of the other piles too. She sends energizing sparks throughout your entire body. If you're feeling jealous, try Pele's healing remedy. Consider the person you're jealous of as symbolizing an aspect of your own inner power that you haven't yet claimed. Reframe this person as an inspiration rather than a threat. If they can do it or have it, so can you. So it's just reframing how you're seeing how people are treating you too. It's like recognizing that that could be an element that you had within yourself at one point where you felt powerless, or you felt like, you know, all of us hold jealousy, all of us hold resentment, all of us hold blame, all of us hold, because it's human. So we all experience those emotions. Pele invites you to turn up the heat in your life, be an ardent lover, an enthusiastic contributor, a fervent force of dynamic creativity. Don't withhold your passion. Live with your soul on fire. And she says, I express intense energy in positive ways. I embrace the fire within. Okay, so this is about recreating your life based on that fire that's within. It's okay that there's so much that has happened to you, but coming back to a place of passion and believing that you have what it takes to get to the next step in your life, let yourself ignite that fire and reconnect with your solar plexus and your sacral chakras here. This is your right to feel, and this is my right to be powerful. You have a right to feel that in this world, okay? You are amazing, pile 3. You've done a lot. So this is what I see here for you. Really quickly, if you've watched all 3 piles with me, leave a purple heart down below. That's part of my Purple Heart Club. If you were here for pile 3 and pile 3 alone, leave the little fire emoji and say, I allow my inner fire to ignite. And remember that I am an amazing, special person. I believe in who I am and my journey. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So I'd like to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messenger, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.